here today to take you on a journey, to look deeper into what creates a good life. Is a good life a happy life? Or is a good life more complex than that? I believe that a happy life is too simplistic a pursuit, and that life is infinitely better if we seek to create something in the world from our own learning and through giving of ourselves to others. Our journey today starts in my hometown, the place where I grew up, which many people claim is the happiest city on earth, or perhaps only in the Western Hemisphere, if the Bhutanese people are to have anything to say about it. The city is called Black Rock City. It's a place where 70,000 people come together to build what is one of the most creative human settlements ever. It's a place where people give themselves permission to be whatever they would like to be and whomever they would like to be. It's a place where they take fantastical dreams and make them into real experiences. As I like to think of it, it's a place where bunches of bananas can finally run free of risk of persecution. It's a place where we build impossible things. It's a place where art is king. It's a place where people push their boundaries to create new things. This is a massive, flaming snake sculpture that is wrapped around an egg, and inside of the egg is a baby dragon. This sculpture was built by a group of artists and non-artists who came together with a vision and said, let's try this. Let's try something so huge, and there's a huge risk that we might fail, but let's do it because it'll be interesting. We'll learn something. And in the end, we can create a space where people can convene and have extraordinary experiences that they have never had before. This is Black Rock City, also known as Burning Man. I'm curious, who here has heard of Burning Man? Oh, that's a fair amount. And who here has been to Burning Man? 4 of you. That is a high, 5. That is more than I was expecting. So Burning Man is on the opposite side of the world. It was a very long journey to get here. And since not everybody is familiar with Burning Man, I'll explain a bit about it. It is an annual festival that takes place in August. It's organized by an organization called Burning Man, which is headquartered in San Francisco. The Burning Man organization works to create the minimal amount of infrastructure that is needed for a civil society to take place. All of the content that happens here, nearly all of it, is generated by the citizens of the city. People like you and me who decide that they want to go to Burning Man and they want to explore something new. So why is it called Burning Man? It is called Burning Man because of this guy. For the last 30 years, the experience that this icon represents has been inviting strangers and friends from all over the world to come together and connect and create and experience the wonder of being a human. The event lasts for 8 days, and on Saturday night, just before the event ends, we have a huge party and we burn the man down. We do this as a ritual, as an experience of something temporary, of putting so much effort into something that we love, much like a Buddhist sand mandala, where it's swept away at the end of the experience. This is part of what Burning Man is. If you were to want to recreate the experience of Burning Man, these are the ingredients that you would use to make it. These are the Burning Man 10 principles, and they represent a culture that is built on generosity, participation, and creativity. Anybody is invited to come and play. Anybody is invited to come and work. This is all bound together with playfulness and human connectivity. It creates a space where people can grow. And people love this so much because it's on the edge of growth where we learn new things and we feel truly alive. people have such a desire for this. Since the late 1990s, they've been saying to the Burning Man organization, we want to do this in our part of the world. How do we do this? And from that has grown the Burning Man Regional Network, which is now in 40 countries on 6 continents. We do not have anyone on Antarctica yet. We have 250 official regional contacts for people who have raised their hand and said, I want to help spread this creative culture because I believe that it is better, it's making the world a better place for humanity. I started going to Burning Man when I was 19 years old. This will be my 16th year. And when I say that I grew up at Burning Man and that I come from there, what I mean is that I've been going there every year of my adult life. It is one of 2 experiences that has profoundly impacted me the most. It has shaped the way that I view the world and the way that I interact with it. The things that Burning Man has taught me, it has given me immense creative confidence and a willingness to take risks and try new things. Burning Man is the biggest playground on the planet. It's the biggest stage where you can explore and experiment. It has taught me the value of playfulness and of resourcefulness and figuring things out and saying, oh, I have this dream, I have this vision. Okay, how are we going to do it? And in that context, it has taught me the value of working together with people to build something bigger that is in service to something larger. It's taught me a few things. On the right-hand side, this is a picture of me with a hula hoop. In 2006, I declared out loud, I said, I want to be an artist. And I had always said that I was creative, but I never identified as artistic because I had never opened myself up to that inspiration or put myself through any sort of training or practices. And when I declared I want to be an artist, what found me was the hula hoop. I then went on for 5 years to become a professional hula hooper. I traveled the world teaching and performing. I went as far away as Dubai and Japan to teach and perform. I started a teacher training and taught people how to teach hooping to other people. Through the hooping company, I learned how to build a company, how to have employees, how to build branding. And all of this was for the sheer joy of learning and of offering something to other people because I loved it and I saw that it brought them alive. On the other side here, this is me in the car that I learned how to drive a stick manual vehicle. This was just a few years ago. So it had been a long time coming that I should learn how to operate a manual car, and this was an absolute pleasure to learn it. And one of the great beauties of Burning Man is that it teaches us to contribute to others. And this is a fantastic story of contribution for people who have never met each other. This is one of the temples at Burning Man. Every year since 2000, we have had a central temple, and they have become bigger and grander with every passing year. The original temple was a more modest mausoleum that was dedicated in memoriam to someone who had passed away that year. And people loved it. They came and they had immense experiences of letting go, of losing contact with people that they had lost. And so every year since then, it's been a central structure at the event. This particular temple was from 2011. It's called the Temple of Transition. And as with all of the temples at Burning Man, at the end of the week, on Sunday night, after the big man burn party, we have a ceremony where the temple is burned in silence. 50,000 people sit around it in silence. And we listen to the fire as it burns, and we cry, and we let go of what we need to let go of. Now, this temple was built by a team from Ireland and New Zealand, United States, and other countries. And they worked for a year to design this. If you ask them about their experience in building this in Black Rock City, they will tell you that it was one of the hardest experiences that they've ever had. Building something in Black Rock City is difficult. It's in a remote desert environment where winds are harsh, temperatures are high, and there are massive dust storms. And when you're working on a deadline, on a timeline to get a piece built on time for the city, it can create a lot of stress. So this temple represents the work of a very large team who poured lots of love, tears, sweat, and even some blood into creating this for people. If you ask them, was it worth it? They will tell you, absolutely, this was worth it. If you ask them if they would do it again, they will probably tell you, oh, I've kind of had that experience already. They do it for people like this, for strangers, tens of thousands of strangers who come to experience their work, who come to this central place to connect with something inside of themselves and to let go of whatever they need to let go of. Burning Man is a place that often transforms people's lives. We have a track record of people telling us, I went home and I quit my job after going to Burning Man. The reason that they do that is that they realize that what they were seeking before, what they thought would make them happy, the material things, the status, the money, the bigger cars, were actually not making them happy. And at Burning Man, they discovered a more beautiful side of humanity. They discovered what it's like to have new experiences and a beginner's mind and curiosity. And they experienced what it's like to have people generously contribute to them and gift them experiences in the most unique ways. This is a picture of one of my colleagues. His name is Jim. Jim, after going to Burning Man, went home and quit his job. He was working in the defense industry. He now works on our communications team. And as Jim told me, a very wise man told him, Burning Man doesn't teach you how to live outside of the box. It simply shows you that there is a box. I believe that the simple pursuit of happiness can be a type of box. I believe that life is about creating fulfillment. And that fulfillment comes from personal growth and contribution to others. Growth doesn't always feel good. In fact, many times the breakthroughs that we experience that help us raise up to a new level or help us dive deeper into a place within ourselves, those breakthroughs are often preceded by a breakdown that is painful. If you're wanting to use your time on this planet to create a fulfilling life, I say do two things. One, prioritize helping others. And two, look for the place in your life where you next need to grow. Thank you.